Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it again, ready to have some fun. This time we're going to change up a little bit and do some high-proof bourbons to celebrate the holiday season. All right? Ready to rock and roll? All right. So, holiday season, it's cold out. You got your family coming over, maybe some friends. But especially if your family's like my family, you definitely need some high-proof bourbons in order to deal with that pain. Trust me, we all love our family, but at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? Uncle John and Susie, let's go ahead and give you a little bit of this cast strength or a high-proof bourbon so that you can just shh. Alright, so let me give you 5 recommendations. Again, this is going to be a mix of just higher proof bourbons, so not all fully cast strength, just higher proof bourbons in general. But 2 things. Number 1, for the most part, they are going to be readily available. There's 1 or 2 that's slightly harder to find. If you put in a little bit of work, time, and effort, you can definitely find them. Number 2, for the most part, they won't kill the wallet too much. So in that $50 to $80 range, not horrible, if you will. And then, again, you guys know me, I'm always going to throw in an asterisk, like I said. So at the end, there will be an asterisk. Now, that one is slightly harder to find and maybe a little bit more expensive, but hey, it's just an extra one. And stay until the end because I'm going to change it up again. Something I've never done before, so make sure you guys and gals stay to the end and check out, let's just call it my enhancement for today's video, if you will. All right. Two other things. Number 1. No Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. You're not going to see Jack Daniel's Coy Hill on this list. Way too hard to find. And honestly, from what I'm hearing, if you do find it, odds are it's going to be like $500, $600, $700, $800, which is just insane. So, not even including Jack Daniel's Coy Hill on this list. It's Heisman out. All right. And then I'll also say huge shout out before I get started. Huge shout out to my man Brad as well as Michael, my newest patrons. So Brad and Michael, thank you both honestly for all the support of the Bourbon Judge, all the love, support. I really do appreciate it. As well as all my other patrons as well. Thank you also for your support of the Bourbon Judge. If anyone out there would love to support the Bourbon Judge, just check me out on Patreon under, of course, the Bourbon Judge. All right. Are we ready to dive into these 5 bourbons to put out for the holiday season? I'm ready. All right. Starting off, number 1. Let's go with, and I've actually never reviewed this on the channel before, Backbone Bourbon. So Backbone, as it says here, now this one happens to be uncut straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel. Comes in at 119 proof. I think this is like my 2nd or 3rd bottle of Backbone Bourbon that I've ever had. My good friend from Nashville, my buddy Greg, he actually put me onto this, and I've never reviewed it on the channel, so I need to actually go ahead and review this on the channel. So I will say, very high level, it is MGP sourced juice, but honestly, every version that I've ever had, I think this is like my 3rd bottle, I believe, has always been top-notch, great quality, day in, day out. Maybe slightly harder to find, but if you go to several different stores, you should be able to find this bourbon. I think it's pretty much easily available as long as you go to a few stores, maybe not only in your state, but maybe like the neighboring state, for example. But again, I've always enjoyed it, and hopefully you will too. Again, it also comes, I think it was like $55, $60, so it doesn't really break the wallet either, which is a good thing. All right. Number 2 just hits home. This is like quintessential Brown-Forman Kentucky bourbon. Old Forester 1920. Always coming in at 115 proof. What I love about this one, I'm going to tell you the reason why for each one of these. Why I picked this. Couple reasons. Obviously, easily available. You can definitely find it after going to a few stores. You always know what you're getting with Old Forester. Oak forward, creamy, but then also like tons of like caramel and brown sugar. You know what you're getting with this bottle each and every time. I love that by itself. And for the fact that I really don't even have to hunt for it. You can always find Old Forester 1920 after going to like 1 or 2 different stores. Can't go wrong with that product. I love 1910 also, but we are also talking about having the family over. So you need something that's going to give you a nice little kick in the butt, or give Aunt Susie or Uncle Johnny a nice kick in the butt. All right, 2 down, 3 to go, plus our asterisks. All right. All right, now this one, all right, here we go. Regardless of what batch you find, no matter if it's the most recent or even an older batch, you cannot, never, ever go wrong with Stag Jr. Love me some Stag Jr. Uncut, unfiltered, every single time. Fantastic quality product. Always really, really good. Always packs a hell of a punch. I mean, it's just Stagg Jr., right? And the fact that we don't have regular Stagg, George C. Stagg this year, if you can find Stagg Jr. out in the wild, even though it's like an $80 MSRP, $75, $80 MSRP bottle, if you have to pay a little bit more for it, like I was talking to someone last night, I think they said that if they find it, it's going to be about $120, $125. It's an extra $45. This is absolutely amazing. In my opinion, especially with George C. Stagg not coming out this year, maybe you spend a couple extra bucks. Maybe. Again, depends on your wallet, right? But also, fantastic juice from Buffalo Trace. Can't go wrong with Stagg Jr. 3 down, 2 to go. Oh, man. This is a quick one. All right. So let's just keep it in Kentucky. I haven't talked about them for a while. You want to talk about affordable and easily available. 1792 full proof. Now this happens to be a single barrel store pick from my spot locally where I'm at. But even the standard 1792 full proof, you always know what you're getting. $55 bottle, always amazing. I've had several bottles of 1792 full proof, even the standard ones, not just like a store pick. Always great quality. You know what you're getting each and every time. Readily available, just great quality. You know what you're getting, and I love that about 1792 full proof. 1792 in general, but I love the full proof, probably the most of that entire lineup. All right, real quick, I need 3 quick and easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button, drop me a comment. Let's go back and forth. You guys know I love going back and forth via in comments. And last but not least, please make sure you also hit the subscribe button so whenever I put out content, you're aware. But you got to hit that bell. Do me a favor. All right. At the almost end of the road, almost, coming in number 5. Now this is also a single barrel, but again, the standard 9-year, 120 proof version of this, $50 bottle, easily available, and is absolutely amazing. Knob Creek. Woo-hoo! I love myself some Knob Creek. Especially, this version is fantastic, but the 9-year single barrel aged 9 years, but 120 proof, absolutely great quality. You know what you're getting each and every time with the bottle of Knob Creek. A little bit of like some nuts in there, very caramel base. Always great quality, always readily available, and always on the cheaper side or more reasonable side from a price standpoint. $50 and easily you can find it. I love that. Day in, day out, that's it for me. These are my 5. But we're not done. We're not done. We have the asterisk, and we also have the, let's call it the additions for today's episode. Ready? All right. So this one, yes, I absolutely know it's a little bit more expensive. It's about $90 MSRP. If you find it in the store, it's going to be harder to find. So I've already made that very clear, very transparent. It's going to be a little bit harder to find. But if you can find it, in my opinion, it's definitely worth buying. Maybe even a little bit higher than the dollar point or the MSRP. So MSRP is $90. I would maybe spend $150, $160 for it because to me it's just fantastic juice. But I've seen it in stores, unfortunately, for like $300, $400. I would not pay that because my bank account can't afford that. However, maybe, hey, to each their own, right? If you got it like that, go for it if that's what you want. But none other, I don't talk about them too often. E.H. Teller Barrel Proof. And I'm going to take this out of the box because I just love this bottle. I think this is my the one I have, 130.3 proof. I love some E.H. Teller Barrel Proof. Never had a bad batch. Always delicious. Love sharing it with my family, with my friends. The guys come over, we always sip a little bit of this. You cannot ever go wrong with E.H. Teller Barrel Proof. Again, I know this is a little bit harder to find, hence the reason why it's my asterisk, because it's the extra one. All right. Well, folks, that concludes today's segment, except for we're changing it up. So, you know, a lot of people reach out via email, Instagram, just, you know, various different, you know, platforms. So Joe, who is a subscriber to the channel, Joe reached out and he was like, hey, Bourbon Judge, I got some samples I want to send your way. I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, these are, I think, ones that you don't have. So I'm sit back thinking, what is Joe going to send, right? I mean, not that I have everything, because I don't, but I'm wondering, what is Joe going to send? So Joe sent me a ton of samples, first and foremost. So thank you, Joe. I'm going to start off by saying that. Thank you, my man. And because 2 of these were actually higher proof, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get them on the channel because these are 2 that are higher proof. They kind of fit into this segment. So Shout out to you, Joe. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and call these two out. So I've never had these before. Hirsch Single Barrel, 134.4 proof, age 6 years. So Hirsch, I will say, I think they're sourcing most of their juice, I think primarily from MGP. I think they also work with some Kentucky distilleries as well. This one here, again, comes in 134.4 proof. They make the Horizon, like the bottles, like the square bottle. I've seen it all over, but I've just never purchased it before. So thanks, Joe, for giving me the opportunity. Looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to this one as well. Frey Ranch Single Barrel Cask Strength. Now this one comes in at 126.92 proof. If you recall, a while ago, I reviewed, and I'll put the link up above, I reviewed Frey Ranch, the small batch. Now the small batch comes in at 90 proof, right? So obviously 90 proof, 126 proof. I love this 90 proof. For a small batch, I think this is one of the best small batches on the market. It's just not readily, it's not known as much as like a Knob Creek or a 1792 and so forth, because they're a smaller craft distillery out of Nevada. What I love about Frey Ranch, as I said in the full review, just Cliff Notes version, very similar to like Starlight. They do it all. They're farmers. They distill it, right? So they grow their own grains. They distill it. They age it, and they bottle it. They do everything from start to finish. I love that, and I respect the hell out of Frey Ranch. So I love the small batch, 90 proof. I'm wondering how good is their single barrel strength. I can't wait. All right, because the Frey Ranch is a little bit slower on the proof side, I'm gonna start with that one. So again, this is 126.92 proof. Let's go ahead and just get a little bit here. Let me get a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right, Frey Ranch single barrel strength. And yes, Joe, you were right. I do not have the cask strength version. I've always wanted to try this. So you know the Bourbon Judge very well, my man. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and get into this nose a little bit. Oh man, that is nice. So what I like about this nose is that it's not your traditional, like very bold bourbon. Even for a cask strength 126.92 proof, it's not like that brown sugar. It's more softer caramel, a ton more vanilla, some honey, some toffee, and like some apples, all blended in very well. Not deep brown sugar, not deep oak, very much like that honey, toffee, vanilla, some apples, a smidge of caramel. Wow, very nice on the nose. All right. Hey, I say this each and every week. Peace, cheers, salute. Thanks again, everyone, for always supporting the Bourbon Judge. Here we go. Wow. 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 3 wows. Craft distillery. Time, effort, patience. Love that. Why do I love it? Everything from the nose transferred to the palate, but almost even like an explosion in your mouth of tons of apples, tons of vanilla, tons of honey, caramel there as well. A nice long finish, and it's long and it's powerful and bold, but it's also very well-rounded at the same time. I need to find myself a bottle of this bad boy. Well, not this one, but the cask strength version of Frey Ranch. I need to find a bottle. I gotta put in some work and effort now. That is amazing. Joe, I appreciate it, man. So, hey, I'm gonna use the gavel. I gotta hit the gavel, right? As Mojo knows. That is definitely a buy. And it could easily be added to this lineup. All right, let me get a little sip of water real quick. Wow. That's pretty damn good. Woo! All right. Now we got Hirsch. Hirsch single barrel, aged 6 years, 134.4 proof. I saw the proof on this bad boy. I was like, damn, Joe is trying to take the Bourbon Judge out. Trying to put me to sleep. Oh, man. All right, let's check this one out. Never had Hirsch before. Let's see. Woo! Wowzer. Damn. This nose is completely different, where that was much more like fruit, softer, caramel, honey, vanilla, and apples. This is way on the other end of the spectrum. Very bold. It's more like deep brown sugar. Maybe like some licorice, some blackberries, some grape, and some pepper. Complete opposite side of that one. Complete. Like they were like, woo! All right. Hey, here we go. Cheers, everyone. Wow. That nose is a great representation of the palate and the finish. Extremely bold, long, still even going down right now. The nose hits you with like brown sugar, grapes, and licorice, and the palate is an equal representation of that. Everything in the nose equals the palate. Tons of grape in the palate. I don't think I've actually ever had a bourbon that had more of a grape and licorice finish than this one here. Also a solid product. So, Bourbon Judge always keeps it real. Both of these are good. If I had a chance, I would buy them both. But, yeah, just gotta be honest with you, right? Honestly, I like them both. I would buy them both. If I could only buy one, which one would I buy? Hands down, easily, for me and me only, I would buy the Ranch single barrel cask strength all day. I like both of these a lot, and thank you again, Joe, by the way. That was very bold and complex in his own way. Almost, maybe in some ways, the grape almost overpowers like the traditional bourbon notes, which is cool. This was extremely well-rounded for a younger bourbon. You know, Ranch has been around for maybe like the last like 4, 5, 6 years. For a younger bourbon, this was absolutely, actually, truly amazing. Their cask strength version. All day long, I would grab that one. This one as well, I would definitely buy, but I would buy this all day long. Multiple bottles. Hey, peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate everyone out there. Joe, my man, thank you again for these samples as well as the other ones you sent me. Peace out.